Shalom Yerushalayim. Zeu shari Rashechem.
Shalom, everyone, and newly Shabbat Shalom. Today is Friday. It is the 18th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev, which means that in a week time it'll be Hanukkah, the first day of Hanukkah, and it is also December the 1st. And we're about to read the weekly portion, which starts with Jacob sending messengers, or in the Hebrew text it says that Jacob sent angels to Esav, to Esau, his brother, to see whether he was coming towards him in peace, or maybe he was intending to fight against him. Jacob has left Haran and he's coming to the land of Canaan. He knows that his brother is coming towards him, and he's coming with 400 men. That's a big number of a delegation if you're only coming for peace. Jacob understood that Esau was probably not just coming for peace; he was still mad at him for what happened with the blessings 20 years before that, and Jacob is now facing a very troubling situation. He's very troubled by this. We know it, and he's preparing himself in three ways. Jacob prepared himself to war, to battle. He arranged his family and all of his companions. He arranged them in a certain order, and he's saying, if one camp is under attack, so the other camp will be left as refugees. So he's preparing himself for battle. He's preparing himself with a gift to Esau. So there are goats and camels and all kinds of things that he knew that would kind of like do the trick with his brother. And more than everything, he prepared himself in prayer. And the prayer that Jacob is saying it's an epic prayer, really. And he's saying, if I am the least of all the mercy and the grace that you've done with your servant, katonti mikol chasadim v'haemet asher asita im avdecha, which you have done with your servant. And we say, and then Jacob is asking from the Lord to protect him and save him this time as well. And we say, Jacob, he demonstrates a huge amount of humility there. Jacob's life wasn't so easy. We know that, right? I mean, right from the start, in the womb, he struggled with his brother. Rebecca had the prophecy about two nations coming out from her womb, and two nations, and the older one will serve the younger one. And then, the birthright and the blessings, and then he had to run away to Laban, and Laban he was a problem for him. And then both of his wives were barren. And it was all very difficult. Now he's coming back to the land, and he needs to face his brother again. And even despite the fact that Jacob's life was full of challenges, still he says, "Katonti mikol chasadim." I've become small. I don't have enough credit with you, because for all the goodness and all the loving kindness that you've done with your servant, maybe I don't have enough credit with you so that you may save me this time from my brother. So despite the fact that he has gone through challenges and problems in his life, still he says, I am unworthy of because of all the goodness that you've already showed with your servant. And that shows a decent amount of not taking God for granted, despite the fact that he heard him, he saw him, and even the fact that Jacob's life was not so easy. He appreciates everything, he values everything, and he says, maybe I don't have enough credit left. My life has been full with your protection and your loving kindness. I need your help this time as well. And I think that takes a lot of humility when we stand before God, when we pray before God, when we intercede before God. It takes a decent amount of humility to remember that God doesn't work for us, and every time we ask for something, we have to do it without taking Him for granted, and with a lot of humility. And especially in this time when we stand before him and we pray and we intercede for peace and for more quiet times, so that we would go through this process of redemption, this sometimes painful process of redemption, that we would get to the other side with in one piece, really. And especially now when we stand before him in prayer so frequently, that place in Jacob of standing before him in humility is something we must remember at all times. Shabbat Shalom.